Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, have you ever felt like everything has fallen in your shoulders, or that everything happens at once and it just one after the other? I know you guys could relate to this, like in different situations or different ways. This brings us to the NCAA, which was established in 1906, and the President Theodore Roosevelt, he was concerned about the injuries and the death of the football, which made him create this association, which is called the National Collegiate Athletic Association. And this helped for the players to be in this association, which would allow them to play a fair game, to be safe, and to have a sportsmanlike and a higher education with the help of the NCAA. The active members of schools are 1,027 schools. It's divided into 3 divisions: Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. It all falls down into depending how good the school is, how good of the school is in the athletic part. This brings us to the NCAA athlete are losing scholarships. This is a major problem in the NCAA. After the athletes are injured, most of them are not able to come back because of their injuries. So one of the things that we ask is, are the college athlete treated fairly? So one of them was Grayson Mullins. He started as a quarterback, and he was slowly moved down to a wider receiver. Then later on, he was moved to a depth chart. And after that, he realized that he had no scholarship, which was one of the downsides for his career and education in school. Another one was 2 college athletes who sued the NCAA because they were released from their scholarships and they feared that they couldn't continue in school because they had no financial aid. So it comes down to the NCAA has a 1-year contract scholarship, and what they're trying to do is move it to a multi-year scholarship, which the Boise State said that this will be a recruiting disaster to have a multi-year scholarship. And for the multi-year scholarship, taken off at any time. If you don't have the scholarship for a multi-year, it could be taken off at any time. If the coach leaves the team, that athlete could be taken off as well. If the new coach doesn't like him, that player could be released, since his contract is a 1-year contract with the school. And since then, that's when it all comes down to the player just being released from a scholarship and not being able to afford college. There's schools that object to the multi-year scholarship, and others accept. Some of the schools that object to this is the Boise State, Boston University, Utah, Vermont, and more than 70. They did a vote on if they wanted to put the multi-year program, a scholarship, and there was a 62.12 who voted, and for the needed was 62.5%. So it was pretty close, and they couldn't get the multi-year scholarship. Now this takes us to the consequences of not having the multi-year scholarship. We have the testimony of Joseph Agnew. He was released from his scholarship after a shoulder and ankle injury, and he was trying to sue the NCAA as well for taking away his scholarship. He says that it wasn't fair for him that after his injury he had to be released from his scholarship. He didn't plan to get injured. Another one was Jennifer Harris, who was in the basketball team, and the coach believed that she was lesbian and took her off the team, and she was also taken away from school just because coach believed something that wasn't true. And this takes us to solving this problem, which would be students can continue in school if they don't have the multi-year scholarship. This won't allow them to, if they don't have the scholarship, they won't be able to have financial aid, and they'll leave the school because they don't have any way to afford it. In 2008 to 2009, 22% of athletes did not get their scholarship renewed. So that's pretty bad. And for the beneficial as well as athlete education, 330 institutes voted for the 62. They needed the 62.5. It was a very close edge right there, and it takes us back to, if we ever feel that this pressure is falling, everything is falling on our shoulders, which the multi-year will be a great help for the athletes, since the whole point of the NCAA is to help the athletes through their college, through education, through a sports. If you're good at a sports, they'll help you through a scholarship. But if you get injured, how they're really helping the students if they don't have that multi-year contract. So thank you very much.